From 3 inches to about 300 pounds, this was one fun day of fishing.
Slight change of plans today. I have 24 hours to see how many I can put in my bucket. Let's get to it. Here we go. Well, this is starting to feel a whole lot like my last trip. Well, it's time for the mid-morning update. The good news is I am getting bites, I am catching fish. Bad news is I haven't seen a pikeminnow yet. I have caught perch, peamouth, cutthroat, sculpin, and I just broke off on a sturgeon and have yet to see a pikeminnow. So it's been an exciting morning, but it has not been a profitable morning.
So I rigged back up, I tossed back out, and within about 20 minutes, hooked into and broke off on a second sturgeon, and it was time to move. So about the time I got to that new spot, I got my first sunbreak of the day. It was delightful. I had a chance to stretch out and actually dry out a little bit. And while I was enjoying this brief moment of sunshine, I actually got the bite I've been waiting for.
Got one.
You can make me your scapegoat. You can call me a bastard if you like. I'll be locking up my door, and you can't walk inside this time. I'll be putting on my war paint. I have a will to stay alive, and now I'll be taking my leave. I will not lose more sleep tonight. Setting fire, fire to the house we built with cherry bombs. Gonna light 'em, light 'em.
Okay, hiding in the car here for a second because it's starting to rain again. I ended up pulling 5 fish in about 7 or 8 minutes out of that little cluster bite I had as school came through. And it's now been more than an hour since then and I haven't had a bite. I've used all the baits I know and trust, have had no luck. And due to a chance encounter yesterday, I'm about to get to try something I've never used before, and I'm going to show you. Check this out.
All right, now I've known about these guys for years, but I have never had the chance to try them out myself. And from what I've heard, I need 2 hands, so let me set up the tripod just a second. All right. I don't know how well you can see this, but those are the crickets. A buddy of mine came into some, and he had a few extras and found out I had never used them before and told me I should try them out. He also told me to be very careful or they'd make me bleed. Apparently they have some very, very serious chompers. So I'm going to get a hold of one carefully here if I can. There he is. Prepped and ready to go. We're trying something new.
So at about 12:30, I had a 10-minute window that produced 5 fish. Up till about 2, I got the occasional bite, but it was small fish or probably the wrong species. And then from 2 to 6, it completely shut down and I did not have a single bite for 4 hours. It was overcast, it was calm, the tide was in my favor, and I was in the right spot. The fish just weren't there. So yeah, it was kind of tough not to just lay back and doze off and take a nap. I'll admit I was tempted. Oh, there I go right there. Anyway, Mother Nature, in all her kindness though, will frequently provide you sources of entertainment. And Mother Nature had an afternoon in store for me that was beyond anything I could have expected. And it wasn't a terrifying event. It wasn't a humbling event. It was, well, let's just say one of these days when I write my memoirs about all the goofy stuff that's happened to me in years of being out on the water, this afternoon might get its own chapter.
That was hands down one of the funniest things I have ever seen. That pikeminnow right there just fell from the sky and bonked a gentleman in the head next to me.
All right, so I've had a very interesting afternoon. I didn't get to film much of it because first I had a family stop by and there was kids running around and legality, putting stuff on YouTube, so I just shut the camera down, put it away. And they eventually left, and another gentleman stopped by and talked fishing with me for a little bit. And then a third guy stopped by and asked if I minded if he fished with me for a bit, so I told him go for it. So he steps to my left and starts throwing, and he's here for a little bit, and I hear a crashing noise in the tree above us, and I look up and something is slapping from branch to branch as it's crashing through this tree, kicks out and smacks this gentleman in the back of the head and falls at our feet down in the mud. Now he spins around looking to see who punched him, ready to fight, has no idea what's happened, and I'm trying to figure out what just fell out of the sky. And I lean over and look, and it was that pikeminnow I showed you a minute ago. So I crane my head back and look straight up. There's an osprey and two bald eagles swirling around fighting in the air directly above our head. So I'm assuming the osprey had the fish and the eagles bullied him into dropping it. But a fish just fell from heaven and smacked a guy in the back of the head right in front of me. It's been a day. Oh, and did I mention the guy was like 85? I don't know if that makes it funnier or not, but it was funny. Well, from a business perspective, this day has not been stellar by any means. But the view from the office tonight, it's getting real pretty out. The tide just changed for me. I'm hoping it's something different. I'm hoping it'll trigger a bite. This is magic hour right now. It's about 8:45. The fish should be active. I'm really hoping we get some action. The only action I got for quite a while, though, was keeping an eye on this beaver who was kind of stalking the far bank, just back and forth, kind of like he was just waiting for it to get dark so he could sneak over to my side and scare me. Since the camera picks up a lot more light than my eyes do, what you're seeing is a lot brighter than what I'm seeing, so it's time to set up a couple lights. It's been about an hour since the tide changed. I still haven't had a bite. I've rotated through 3 or 4 different baits and just nothing. I am completely stymied. Gonna give this an hour, and then it's time to move on to wherever we move on to. Finally. All right, focus on that rod tip for a second. Did you see that? That's what I call the taste. That pikeminnow just came in and slurped your bait up for just enough to see if it's something he wants, and now he's backed off and he's thinking about it. And this isn't accurate 100% of the time, but the vast majority of my pikeminnow bites follow this pattern. There's the taste, and then there's the take. You really need to pick up your rod between the taste and the take. And sometimes if you get the taste and they don't seem to want to come back for it, I throw in the third T of my plan, which is the twitch. Well, that was a double twitch. Usually I just do a single twitch. And I realize it may seem somewhat insignificant, but it's actually a twofold reason I'm doing this. The first is I give that little twitch, and if it pulls free, I know my weight and my rig is not hung up on anything. And two, it makes that bait twitch. I'm not giving it a pull, I'm not dragging it, it's just a twitch. And you'd be surprised how often it infuriates fish into biting, or triggers them to bite. Whatever the reason, throw in a twitch. If you get a nibble and they don't come back, twitch it. Oh, hey, is that rain starting up again? Of course it is. All right, it's 11 o'clock. I gave it 2 hours. I did pick up a couple of fish, but it's very, very quiet. I'm gonna make a move to the spot closer to my turn-in station. It's about a 30-minute drive, but it's 30 minutes in the right direction.
All right, we're back in the rig. I'm pulling the trigger on making that move. I'm not sitting here for 1-2 bites an hour. It's not worth it. I'm hoping I find better fishing at the next spot I check. I'm heading upriver, place a lot closer to where I'm turning in tomorrow morning. So we got a little bit of a drive ahead of us. Check back in with you at the next spot. All right, I just drove 27 miles. I saw one other car, and other than an elk-related brake check at the top of one of the little passes I went over, uneventful drive. Nobody is here, thankfully. I'm gonna hop out and see if we can scare up a few more fish. Good news is we just got here. Been here about 5 minutes and I've caught one. I hope that's indicative of things to come.
Well, I have about a 7-foot sturgeon on right now. He's come up and jumped twice. And I'm going to have to break him off here before I lose my line. Oh, there he goes. And there it went. Okay, so that sturgeon took the opening kickoff about 200 yards. I say that because I have 300 yards of line on my reel, and I had at least 2/3 of my reel dumped on his opening run. And 200 yards upriver from me, he jumped. So I got a look. I knew it was a big sturgeon. And then he turned and came back towards me. So I just stayed with him, kept the pressure on, and as he got closer and closer to the pier, I decided I've already got kind of a look. What's the worst that could happen? He's going to break off anyway. So I started to put a little muscle to him, and in what couldn't have worked out any better, he came up tail walking, literally right at the end of the pier, right in front of me. It was an absolutely amazing thing to see at nighttime. Oh. The fishing has not been great, but this has been a really cool trip. It's 4:30 in the morning now. Been back at it for a little while. No bites yet. We're gonna try it. We still got a few hours left.
Now, if you're new to my channel and you made it this far, well, by God, thanks for watching and thanks for making it this far into the video. If you're the one who's followed me for a bit and has seen my other stuff, you know I love to set a vibe with the background music. But for the next stretch here, I'm actually going to just skip the music because Mother Nature was throwing in some amazing soundtrack of her own. I don't know if you're familiar with the app Merlin, which is a bird identification app. You open it up, you turn it on, and it listens and can tell you all the birds singing around you. And at one point, I had 12 different species on my screen as actively singing within earshot of me. It was a cool morning. It was beautiful. Only downside, of course, fish were not cooperating.
I'm about to show you one of the best techniques for rigging a night crawler that most people don't know about. I use a half night crawler. So I start at the end that I've just pinched off, Start him up that threader. And that is how I like to rig my night crawlers. Straighten them out a little bit here. Good to go. That simple little trick right there will double your hookup percentages when you're using worms.
And please notice the way I chose to word that. I'm not saying you're going to get twice as many bites if you throw out a worm on as opposed to wadding it on the hook, although I believe you probably will get significantly more bites. I'm simply saying you're going to actually land a lot more of those bites with a better hook set.
So this morning I got up after about an hour and a half nap. I started off at the pier. About just before 5, I had 2 other guys show up and start fishing next to me, and it's a pretty small pier, and it was just nothing but small fish anyway, so I came over here for a lot more of the same. I always check my slider. Sometimes the moss and grass and other crap that you pick up when you're out there drifting along the bottom will gum up. Your slider quits working and you lose a lot of your sensitivity. So double check your slider to make sure it's working good.
And while we are on the subject of checking things, your slider is important to check, but it's not detrimental. Check your stinking leaders, people. I cannot tell you how many fish I have lost because I've noticed that little nick in the leader and I tell myself, it's not bad, I'll just retie later. And you break off on the very next fish, and that's a $10 mistake because you wouldn't simply retie your hook. So I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at me because I've done this 100 times and I keep telling myself, if you see a nick, just retie. And I'm trying to share that with you guys as well. Save yourself some money, not just lost tackle, but lost $10 fish. Now you may have heard me refer to a cluster bite early in the video. That's what I call it when you get a clump of bites all within a few minutes and then they're very distinctly not a part of any other bite you're getting. Right now we are absolutely peak spawn, I believe, especially in the tributaries where I'm fishing in the sloughs. The fish are schooled up. So what I'm getting is not fish that bite on occasion, I'm just getting a school that comes by on occasion.
That quick, something already got most of my worm and I'm all tangled up.
Now in this 24-hour adventure of mine, I have hit 5 different locations, 2 of which did not produce a single pike minnow. All of my pike minnow were caught in pairs or triples. I did not catch a single one by itself, leading more weight to my theory that they're all schooled up, and unless you're up where they're schooling, you're in a bad spot.
Gummed up slider again.
Now I've been doing this long enough these past 6 years that I not only have honey holes, I have honey holes that are season dependent, and it seems like they've really let me down the past 24 hours. But here's the interesting thing. I know the spawn's going on. I knew this was a possibility, and yet I did it because it's worth it. Probably either next week or the week after as that spawn starts to wind down. Those tens of thousands of fish are going to come pouring back out of the tributaries heading for the main stem. And these spots I'm fishing are to be great, not only for fish that are migrating back out, but for the fish that are going to stay and be there for the summer. It's kind of like double dipping. Next few videos I'm thinking should really pick up numbers wise.
I'm getting a lot of bites this morning, but they're definitely not the fish I'm looking for.
Now this next little bit here was brought to you by a camera that I had accidentally left running. One of the best mistakes I made this entire trip because I finally managed to get this on film. Yeah, you see who's sneaking in there. Just watch.
And that's how the beavers give you a heart attack.
We're going to do that one more time. Just zoom it in a little bit. Here we go. Yeah, now just imagine that happening right behind your kayak in the middle of the night, pitch black. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure I'm rocking a little post-traumatic fever disorder at this point.
Well, it has not been a productive morning, but it has been a very, very peaceful morning. I just checked the time. It is now 7 a.m.
Which means it's time for that magic part of the day where I leave my camera in charge of my fishing pole and I go strap a few things down and get some stuff ready to roll. Well, I've got to call it. My 24 hours are up. I got to go get these fish turned in and head home. It was a good trip. It wasn't productive, but it was definitely a good trip. Bear with me. As the season progresses, the numbers always pick up. Traditionally, July and August are very good to me, so there will be a lot more fish in future videos. So, nothing to do now. Pack up the rest of my stuff here and go count some fish.
Vultures circling above me this morning. That can be a good sign. Here we go. Lucky 13.
Well, the fish turn-in people were running a little bit late on this particular Monday morning, so I had time to go sit by the edge of the water, like I usually do, and just enjoy nature. It, as always, is just mind-bendingly beautiful out here. It's why I keep coming back. And it's why I'm gonna keep coming back, as long as my wife will let me. I remember just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when a 13 fish day would have been perhaps one of my best of the season. And now I consider a 13 fish day a bad day of fishing, so I'm going to call that progress. Anyway, numbers did not add up this weekend, but it was still a really good trip. And I've kind of given myself an idea. Next weekend, I'm coming back in about 3 or 4 days. I'm bringing my kayak with me. And I'm going to see how many hours out of 24 I can spend in the kayak. So I'm going to do a 24-hour challenge to myself. I'd like to think I can do better than this week, but that'll be next week's adventure. Thanks for stopping by Columbia Bounty Fishing. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I really hope you get the chance to get out and have some crazy experiences in nature yourself. It's one of the best things you can do.